Good morning. Tuesday, July 6th. Getting ready for another week here with the markets. Short week, only 4 days. For anyone who's on right now, I hope my sound sounds pretty decent. So I bought this mic. I think I ordered it about a week ago because there had been some trouble with the sound and everything. And so I set it up yesterday. If anybody watched the live stream last night, I kind of got it set up ahead of time. But some people were saying it was still sound was still off. So I hope it's sounding all right. I think I might be still learning how this thing works and getting used to it being right here. But we'll see how it goes. So let me see. Just go around real quick and check out the markets in general. Kind of see how everything's looking. I'm going to pull up some daily charts and just go over the stocks that I'm into first, and then also a couple that we've been watching. So ATOS, we did have this kind of little gap fills that we talked about last week on, why the stock was still pulling back. At least that's my assumption. We'll kind of see where it goes from here. But again, this is a play that I'm in just for the potential of a gamma squeeze. Looking at the option chart on it, we still see 57,000, 58,000. At the $10 and $11, or I'm sorry, the $7.50 and the $9 strikes. 23,000 at 6, 16,000 at 550. These are all huge numbers. So the potential for the gamma squeeze is there anytime between now and July 16th. I just opened up a very small position to kind of see if I could take a ride with that and get on board that gamma squeeze if it happens. BNGO, another one that I haven't been talking about much lately. I still have my position in it. I'm still waiting. Anyone who followed along with me on this one, I did go with some August 20th, $15 calls, and then also just some leaps because I do want to start opening up a long-term position in BNGO. But significant news, I think, and not really significant, but this is something that if you start following BNGO, you'll kind of see they always have these little mini catalysts. And so today they announced that an expansion into Shanghai, into China, I think it was a lab called We Health. And basically they adopted the Sapphire system that BNGO has. That's that product that they put out into labs, and they contract with all these places that's really helps with cancer research. It's been used for COVID research and some other stuff. So some decent news today for BNGO. We'll see if maybe that gets this stock turning around. We did just kind of fall out of this channel that it was trading into, and we'll just have to see how it goes from there. AVXL, I didn't see anything this morning on, but again, we came down, we filled this gap down here, and I think that we're ready to kind of take off and maybe start running again. There was a lot of good news in this stock early last week and the previous week before. So AVXL is one I'm keeping an eye on. Nothing new in regard to any new news, but hopefully we'll start to see it start to break up and at least test this 3150 high. AMC is not a stock that I'm in, but I do want to go over it real quick. It's up 2.8% in pre-market. Over the weekend, Adam Aaron, their CEO, announced that they were going to start doing live events, streamed into the theaters. I think they made an announcement that they are going to do a UFC fight coming up pretty soon. So I'm interested to see how that affects the stock. Also, he just tweeted out, I think today, that they're going to do no new share requests. So he was trying to, put some more shares into the market. Got a lot of flack from investors. And so he just tweeted out that they're not only canceling their meeting that's coming up, but they're not going to ask for any new shares in 2021. So this could be a big day coming up here for AMC. Again, I'm not in AMC, but, they do have a lot of momentum and retail support. I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe get up here and finally break out of this $60 range. And it's gapping up right now. So we'll see what happens there. SPCE is another one that I am not in. but I've been following. That's Virgin Galactic, and it had a big gap up on Friday. I think it opened the day somewhere around 53, and I kind of pointed out that there were, what we saw even with CLOV is that we were looking to get down to, fill the gap. But I think it's going to come all the way down here to 41.25, and if it does within the next couple days, I might look to open a little position in space, just because I do know that they have another test launch coming up, and kind of the way these things work with like a company like this, I kind of look at similar to like a pharmaceutical type company, when they're going through their test phases. If they fail the test phase, or they don't pass it, or phase one, phase two, I'm talking in terms of a pharmaceutical, you're going to see the stock plummet. But if they pass it, you'll see the stock skyrocket. And right now, with the second test launch coming up for space, and also the news of Richard Branson going to make that first retail flight, I think that this stock could take off, and it has some catalysts upcoming. But I'm not going to chase into a position. I'm looking for this to fill the gap before I jump in. So we'll be watching that. GameStop, still kind of trading in the same channel. It did no, it closed above 200 again. So I mean, it's been able to close above 200 now for almost every day, dating all the way back to, God, when's the last time it was below there? May 25th, May 24th. So looking strong, looking like it has a new base, or a nice base, sitting there at 200. The NFT token date, or suspected date, is July 14th. Company hasn't announced anything yet, but that's something that could be a potential catalyst if they make an announcement coming up here soon. And also this morning they announced that they're expanding and opening up a fulfillment center in Reno, so probably a West Coast. I know a couple months ago, I want to say maybe they announced that they were opening one in Pennsylvania, somewhere up there. I think Pittsburgh, but they did announce that they're opening up a center. They just leased a building in Reno, Nevada. So, again, the company's just kind of showing that this is what they're moving into, and I kind of see this, almost like how these Amazon fulfillment centers have been popping up. I'm not saying they're going to be as big as Amazon at all, but I think that they could eventually maybe challenge Amazon on the tech, for their games and their gaming industry type stuff, and even some of their electronics. GameStop.com is starting to offer electronics, and they're starting to have a lot of stuff available for same day shipping, next day shipping, and kind of the same thing Ryan Cohen did with Chewy. He just made them the retailer for pets, and I think that that's probably online retailer, and I think that's what's in the mix coming up here for GameStop. So we'll see what happens. Something to follow. Now on to CLOV. We did see kind of a double bottom start to form last week. This bouncing off this like $11, $11.20 level. We came down and touched somewhere around there on Friday. It found support and came back up. We are still kind of trading in this channel. I think at some point now, especially now, if that is truly the bottom, maybe we'll start to see it pop back up. I borrowed this just to take a look at it, because we're tracking kind of for the short squeeze. Let's see if it updated. So today this is yesterday's data, July 5th. There we go. 100,000 shares available, 67% borrow fee. Now that is just for, one retail for Interactive Brokers, one lender. But we'll take a look at Ortex as well. See if this got updated, or if this is Friday's information. Yeah, so we're looking at live info right now. So as of today, 30,000 shares returned versus 556 borrowed, for a net of 525 borrowed. Cost to borrow, 18% on the low, 74% on the high, for an average of 24%. So this is down from what we saw Ortex at on Friday, but still relatively high. And again, iBorrow showing 67%. So, that fee is still again, significantly high. Right now, they're reporting as of Friday, or as of this morning, I should say, shares on loan are at 50 million. Still a high number in relative to the float, and percent of free float on loan 45. Utilization's at 100, and the cost to borrow is at 37 on average. So still great numbers in terms of the squeeze. Nothing's changed. If anybody missed out last night, we had the round table. It was supposed to be a round table, but we kind of put it together last minute, because of the holiday weekend. We wanted to do something for the CLOV subreddit, which the link to the CLOV subreddit is in the description of this video. If you haven't checked it out already, a lot of great information on there. But it ended up just being me and Tarheel because I know Dutch was going to come and he was out of town, and he kind of got held up. So he had messaged us a little bit late and just said, hey, I'm not going to be able to make this one, but I want to do another one. And then Al Trades was actually on with me and Tarheel beforehand and was having some difficulties where he couldn't hear what we were saying or something, but he actually messaged last night and said he figured it out. So he'll be on the next one for sure. And we're going to try to get some more people in too. This is something that we're going to continue to do. We haven't really came up with a schedule or locked in date for the next one yet, but I'm excited because we had a lot of fun last night, even though it was just me and Tarheel. And if anyone saw on last Monday, Tarheel came in and joined the stream, and we had kind of said that moving forward, that was going to be the plan, that he would come in on Mondays and kind of hang out during the live stream in the morning. And so, being that there was no market on Monday, he is going to come in today. So he'll be dropping on today. I think closer to around 7 o'clock, but we'll see how that goes, and should be a lot of fun. Still on CLOV options. We'll just take a look. Something that we've been tracking just to see how the option chain is building up and what everything looks like. This does still look like it is numbers from last Friday, so we'll get back to that in a little bit. I did notice that there was a option sweep at the $15 strike for August. That might be this volume we see here. But again, this information's old, so we may have to wait another 5 minutes or so before this volume transfers over into open interest and we could really see what the option chain is looking like and the potential for maybe some sort of gamma squeeze, anything to kind of give us some firepower moving into July 16th and get this stock moving upwards. Is that all I had? Yeah, those are my notes for this morning. Let me check out the chat. Thank you, everybody who's in here. Appreciate the support. Let's see here. Got my alternator for my car put in last night. Took me until 1 a.m., so I'm a little tired. Slamming coffee this morning hard. Well, hey, I'm glad you got it taken care of, though. Yep, I got the microphone. I'm glad to hear it sounds great too. So yeah, I don't know what happened yesterday. I mean, I know some people said that it sounded fine. I think maybe it was too far away. But I think I got it all situated now. Now it's just going to be a matter of me getting used to having this thing in front of my face. But if it sounds better, I'm glad. I'll keep rolling with it. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Top of the morning. Co-creator, yeah. So he'll be on later on. So he's gonna come in. I think around 10 o'clock his time is what he said. So probably in another 45 minutes or so. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention, and thank you for bringing that up. So I did hit 1,000 yesterday during the stream, and if anyone wasn't on there, so Tar Heel had kind of made I forget what the number he wanted to get to, but he said he was going to have a white claw during the stream if he got to a specific number, and he's like, hey, if I get to this many, I'm gonna slam a drink. And then somebody in the chat said, hey, if we can get Coach to 1,000 subs during the stream, he's got to chug one too or something. And I did hit it, and I did follow through, and I have my drink. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun last night, and I did hit 1,000. Very humbled to do so. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Well, not anything that I ever imagined, in terms of, and I know I keep saying this, um, but I didn't ever intend to kind of get this channel this big when I first started it. So it's pretty cool to kind of be at this point now. And excited to see where this channel goes moving forward. If CLOV goes below 1160, will it go even lower? I mean, anything's possible. Uh, we kind of hit that 1160. I think we're gonna find support in here, at least where we saw this bottom at back on June 21st. I could see us, somewhere in this $11 range. If we break below 1160, maybe coming down there. Um, we should see 1127 as kind of some significant support. And, you know, yeah, I mean, I could see it falling a little bit lower if we break below that. But I really think that, we have been able to hold the support, and something that, I know we've talked about before, and this is all speculation, but, um, I think they're kind of running low on firepower now. So it's going to become harder and harder to kind of push us lower. There is a significant sell wall set up right there that is 225,000 shares at 1158. Right now, it looks like they're really going to try to pin us below that. I mean, that's a huge sell wall. We'll have to see what happens with that. But and I don't see any support levels in here right now on the level 2 data. But this always changes too. So like as soon as 630 hits and the market opens, we may even see this get pulled and taken out. And because sometimes, and I know I brought this up before, when you look at level 2 data, uh, there might be somebody sitting there who has no intention of selling 225,000 shares. They're just putting that there to scare away buyers right now. And once the market opens, you might see this number disappear, and we also might see some buy levels come in. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Um, let's see. Maybe Tarheel's volume was just too high. Could be. Yeah, I know that everybody was saying that the mics were off. Like it sounded like maybe mine was too low, his was high, or something like that. Um, let's see. Let's see. 400. Okay, yeah. We were trying to get Tarheel to 400, so we'll see. We'll keep that going today too. I know it's going to be early. If you're listening right now, if we get you to 400 today during this stream, you might have to go find a cocktail and get it taken care of. And it's a lot earlier for me, but I'll even join in on you with it if we can get you to 400 today. If you're listening, we'll see how that goes. Slammed it like a pro. Yeah, that was kind of rough. I haven't slammed a drink in a long time like that, but you know, let's see. 1208's the magic number needed to hold over for 30 minutes. Okay. Okay. We'll take a look at that. So, um, and I know just like Tar Heel watching some of his streams, he always talks about like the 4 hour. I think is something that he's been looking at. Just in terms of saying, looking at this stock from a technical standpoint and kind of seeing these channels that it's in. But if we look at the 30-minute and kind of check out this 1208 number, where we at? Somewhere up here. All right, we're getting close to market open. We got, in 9 minutes basically. Just looking how everything's performing in pre-market, and I'll start with actually we'll just do it all here. We got some time. So CLOV right now down 1.88%, currently trading at 1149, and I'll just announce these even though there's up too because I know some people are listening. GameStop up 37 cents, nothing major right now, but basically flat right now in pre-market, trading at 203.20. ATOS is down almost 5% right now in pre-market. It looks like kind of bouncing between 506 and 517. That seems like that's a huge spread there. So, the stock may be able to move. I'm really expecting it to, just from a technical standpoint today. So we'll see how that goes. Currently trading at 520. AVXL basically flat, down 0.5%. Trading at 24.48. I think 25 might be a big number there. BNGO is up almost 2% in the pre-market. Remember, we had some news. If you're joining late, they did just announce that they got their Sapphire system into WeHealth Shanghai. So kind of some expansion in China, and trading at 684 right now. I'd love to see it get back above 7 and eventually hold above 8. But, we've been looking for that for a while, or I should say I have been. AMC is up 3%. Adam Aaron, their CEO, announced that they were going to start doing live events, specifically, I think, a UFC event. And, where you can actually go into the theaters and watch these events in there. And also, I think tweeted out this morning that he's not going to ask for any more to release any more shares. So no more dilution. No more announcements of that in 2021. So I'm thinking this could be a big day for AMC. Those of you guys that are in there, we might see this stock take off. I'll be watching. No position for me right now. I wouldn't even be able to open one up if I wanted to. I got too much going on. Space, kind of the same thing. It did gap up earlier this morning, but it's back down, up about 2%. I am going to look to open a position up in space if we see it gap fill all the way down to 41. But right now it's trading at 45.80. And that'll be a point that I'll look to get back in and enter in. May never happen. It did fill the gap from last Friday, and it may be ready to take off now. But if I can get a buy-in at 41, I might jump in here. We'll just have to see how that goes. Other stocks that let me get this back up. Other stocks that we've been watching. What is that noise? We'll see what happens. BlackBerry basically flat right now, trading at right around $12. Workhorse up 0.5%, basically flat, trading at 14.26. And the S&P 500, kind of our market indicator, basically flat. It's down 3 cents. So nothing major going on there. Did have a monster day on Friday, though. Basically going up another $3 and hitting a new all-time high, which it continues to do. Currently, though, S&P 500 trading at $433.68. I wouldn't be surprised to see a pullback at some point. I know I pulled up the daily chart on that a couple times in here just to kind of show you guys what I'm looking at. But the S&P 500 pretty much in this huge run up all the way from back in March. It's way back there now. Every time it hit like an all-time high over the course of 2-3 weeks, you would see some sort of pullback, by basically about 10 or 20 bucks. There's another one. Then it came up, every time, though, you'd see this little minor pullback, like where we went from 422 recently all the way down to a dip of 404. We hit this new all-time high of 425 and then dipped down to 414. Now we're at 434, so I wouldn't be surprised to see, a 3-day span where it kind of pulls back a little bit and maybe gets underneath this moving average and drops at least back down to 428 or dips below down to 420. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as well. 3 minutes before market open. Let's see here. Okay, question. Why does Tarheel drink White Claw? Save that for when he gets on here. I'm going to start. We'll ask him. I know I explained I can't drink beer anymore just for health reasons. So I gotta stick to either like hard stuff or seltzers, things like that. But the beer I just can't do anymore. Co-creator says because it's for champions. Let's see. Another wonderful day of shorting. Yeah, I hope not. Let's right now. I want to look what kind of update we have with the Ortex. Nothing really changed. Still a net of about 500,000 shares borrowed. So, um, but yeah, they are borrowing shares more than they're returning them so far this morning. Um, let's see. Co-creator says pre-market sale on CLOV. Absolutely. All my positions are in penny stocks. Penny stocks at the moment. How low CLOV will go now? We'll have to see. I mean, we are. I would imagine we're gonna find that support level right in here, and maybe not below, not drop below 11, but anything's possible. I'm just sit here and watch. I feel strongly about the stock. I feel strongly about the potential for a short squeeze and just the potential for it to you know as an investment rise. So at some point, shorts have to cover, right? The stock isn't going bankrupt. They're going to have catalysts come up. They're going to have reasons for people to jump back in and buy. There's already a ton of institutional investors in this stock, and I think that we'll see more, especially after we get this share lockup out of the way, and people see that the institutions holding this are not selling. So, I think we'll be fine. We just got to kind of weather these storms. Volatility is part of being in a squeeze play. Um, let's see. Looking to close some out today if the profit gods allow. Going to dive back into CLOV right on. We'd love to have you part of the team. Let's see. BB never moves. Yeah, just watching BlackBerry and I don't think the intention was ever for it to be a meme stock. It just kind of got drug into it. I know I've talked about that in the past. Um, I'm really hoping it kind of levels out and flattens out because when I am ready to open up a new position, I like BlackBerry as a long-term investment. Um, but it's just the whole meme status of it. I think it keeps getting kind of wrapped up into that, and it's preventing it from really kind of doing its thing because they've had a lot of good announcements. I know in the past too. So the market is open right now. Let's see here. Tuesdays have been up days the last few weeks. Yeah, let's see if we continue that trend. Um, Seen a variety of haters call CLOV a pump and dump. Aren't pump and dumps generally just a day or two thing, not lasting weeks? Yeah, and I think and I've seen that too. I mean, I've even seen people come on my channel and put it in the chats and everything like that. And um, I don't know. I mean, I think that's what happens when you get kind of like that 1 or 2 day hype from like a Wall Street bets type place, and all of a sudden, volume comes pouring in, and we hit that little gamma squeeze on June 9th, and then fell back down the next day. But I think the important thing is if it was a true pump and dump, we would have fell back down to $6, and we kind of have been holding our own in like this $13 to $11 range. Started off as more of like a $14 to $12 range, and now we'll just have to see what happens. But I don't think this is a pump and dump. I mean, for very obvious reasons that I keep bringing up. I think we're trading at 2 to 3 times lower than where the stock should be. And it's just a matter of building the community and getting people in and getting people to buy the stock and hold it, to help the squeeze play out. But I think people who don't understand the fundamentals and think that this was just like a meme status that got pumped up one day, that's their take on it, but and that's why we need to get people into the CLOV subreddit, let them read about it, let them hear about it. That's why I continue to say go like the videos of other YouTubers that are doing CLOV, even if it's not some of the ones that I'm consistently mentioning, because I know there's other ones out there, because it helps get them into the algorithms and it helps get people aware of what's really going on with CLOV. I mean, the medical insurance industry is going nowhere, right? And I mean, Clove isn't just an insurance company either. So, in terms of the long term potential of this stock, I mean, it's almost like recession proof, right? I mean, it's people will always need insurance, and especially Medicare and the direct contracting that they're into, and that's not even including the AI side of things, and Clove as a technology company. So I'm excited about this stock. And again, we have this short squeeze potential. So let's see what happens. We did just touch 1050 a second ago. Looking for support here. It looks like at 1030, but really no significant numbers in here, and nothing really big on the other side too. We are on the 5 minute candle. We are trading right now at 1050. We'll see where that goes. Let's see where this candle closes. Michael says they will bring us to $7 before letting a squeeze happen. Yeah, I mean, I think they are. I don't know if we'll get that low. I mean, anything's possible. I learned that with GameStop. You know that you're gonna see violent swings. You're gonna see volatility. But it wouldn't shock me if that happened either. I mean, I think that they're gonna hit it as hard as they can and try to get shake people out. That's what they want to do. They want to short the stock, get it down, and then I mean they can only get it down so much, right? Because there's only so many shares that they have available to short. But if they can short the stock down and then get you to sell, that's going to drive the price lower, and that allows them to buy back the shares at a discount, and then do it all over again. But if we hold, now they're going to have to buy back and put the price right back to where it was, maybe even higher if no one's selling, and volume's lower. So um, yeah, we'll just gotta wait and see. I mean, GameStop. So right now, closed down 10.5%. On the day, in this first 5 minute candle, which does put us on the SSR for tomorrow, the short sale restriction. But I've mentioned on here and in some of my other videos many times that you know they found. I feel like these guys have found ways to get around that. And these SSR days are supposed to mean that you can't short on a downtick. Um, but it seems like it continues to happen. I learned that, just through watching GameStop, and, just it seems like that's always the case. I did notice that somebody just put that Wish is starting to run in the chat. So I'm going to pull that up instead of BlackBerry, because it seems like BlackBerry hasn't really been doing much recently. And it looks like Wish is up 6% right now. And yeah, let's see. AMC up 3%, trading at 53.45. Wish is up 6%, trading at 12.39. Let me see here. BNGO almost flat, trading at 675. Workhorse flat, 14.17. And then we have, our stocks that we're watching right now. The SPY is also kind of very similar candles to what we're seeing with Clove and GameStop. So again, sorry, I'm over here clicking, trying to get everything set up. I had my charts really expanded. Nolan says, time to flip a call, buy some stock. Calls pay for stock. Yeah, I mean, I'm not buying any, but I know what you mean. We talked about this the other day too. When you see these early morning dips, you grab a call there, maybe something at the money or in the money. I think when you talked about this last week, we had dipped down to here, at 11:30, and you could have made some pretty decent profits selling it over here at 11.90. So, but again, um, you never know what's going to happen either. So calls are risky. I know you know that, but I'm always going to say it. But yeah, I mean, if you thought this was the bottom for the day, and we were going to end up heading back in the other direction, I agree with what you're saying. This would be a good time to kind of jump in and grab one. Watch MRIN pull back and slingshot up pre-market. Let's check it out. MR. I know that was another one. I don't know anything about that Marin offshore. Um, I know it's up huge over the last week or so. It was trading at looks like $15 not too long ago, and it's now all the way up here at 25 ish. So, um, and it did gap up. What's the daily chart look like on that? Let me get AVXL back up. Um, yeah, I mean this is a really crazy chart right here. I mean it hasn't filled any gaps in any previous gaps. I mean you got a gap here to 288, another gap from 401 to 538, 755 to 921, 15. This is 15 to 20 and then 21 to 25. This is one of those stocks I wouldn't be afraid of a gap fill on because it looks like it's kind of defied that logic every single time here on this run up. So kind of a different type of chart than like what I was looking at with space, where when I'm looking for an entry point in space, but it's always kind of filled that gap. I'm looking for it to come down and do it. I wouldn't even know how to play this chart. I don't know anything about this stock either. I do know that people have been mentioning it, and it's really been on a run. Um, but shit, if you were in on this run up, good for you. I'm happy you probably made some money on it. Let's see. In the money, sell at the end. I'm just checking through these. Uh, Hey, coach, seems like ATOS is being shorted like crazy at the moment. I'm kind of glad I only got shares at the moment, but I wonder how long they can keep playing this. Yeah, I mean, um, very similar to like a CLOV or a GameStop or anything else. I mean, even when they run out of shares, I think they can figure out ways to the synthetic shares and the naked shorting and all the other. We saw the kind of that movement on the option chain last week, and what happened with that 50-cent strike. So they got a ton of tricks up their sleeve, but like I said, my thing with ATOS when I jumped into it, somebody bought all those damn calls. And you know what? We haven't really looked at the option chain because it wasn't updated. Um, but somebody bought those calls. There's no way retail came in and bought 50,000 calls. So let's see the update here. Yeah, so we're still sitting at 56,000 at the 750 strike, 55,000 at the $9 strike. Still huge potential there for a gamma squeeze. And that's what I'm playing on here. Is and 16,000 is huge too, and so is 23,000. And there's not a ton of offsetting numbers on the put side. So if this stock can continue to move upwards, even getting to like 550 ish right now and then getting to 6 every day we get closer to July 16th, all we're going to need is a push. And even these numbers in here will give us that upward momentum. And then this time it's just a matter of getting into this 750 and $9 range. So not saying it's going to be easy by any means, and it may not happen at all, but that's my play. I'm just I'm in this stock right now till July 16th, because I'm looking for this run. So let's see it. Let's see if it happens. All right. Oh, you know what? I also we never checked the options on CLOV because they weren't updated. So I'm just interested to see where the data's at right now after last week. Um, Not a lot of significant numbers for this week. Still early, but there's only 4 days left, and I think weekly options. Unless you're planning on doing some day trading, like Nolan's kind of talking about a couple times in the chat, I would try to stay away from these weeklies. Very risky and doesn't give you a lot of time. But the July 16th strike does look pretty heavy. 18,000 at 11. with, it keeps moving on me because we're bouncing right in between there. Actually, looks like there's more puts than calls here at $10, and at $12, and at, so 13's where we start outweighing them. Not a ton there because there's 5,000 puts. But once we kind of get to this $14 strike, we look to really start to outweigh. Still nothing major though. I know August we had some call sweeps for the August 20th mark. Let me see where that's at. Looks like 1250 is a huge number, and $15 strike, 19,000 with only 5,000 offsetting. So we do have some big numbers, and those count even for now. I know it doesn't mean you have to wait until August 20th to get some sort of movement. That just seems to be where the chain is getting loaded up right now. So CLOV looking for a bottom. We are all the way down to $10. We touched 996. Trading at 1009 right now, down 13% on the morning. A lot of support at $10 though. 38,000 share or buy wall at $10. An 11,000 buy wall at 1005. So this may be the bottom of the day right now. Let's see what happens. I'm hoping this holds up. 45,000 now at $10. So really starting to see some support levels come in. This may be it. Maybe we'll be looking to reverse right here. I know my portfolio would love to see that. Let me see here. Sorry, I didn't have my portfolio even pulled up yet. When I turn away, does it like does it get pretty silent when I turn my head? I'm just interested to see how this works. Um all right. I got it up. Let's see what we got. Um Oh, there we go. I doubt the big players aren't going to try to profit off all the open interest as well. It's easy money for them. They just have to trigger a reversal, and retail and market makers will do the rest. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm looking at. And talking about ATOS, the chain is loaded up to where all it's going to take is somebody stepping in and pushing that. And I imagine that, that those certain strikes were 50,000, 20,000. I mean, there's retail mixed in there, but there's some big players that put some money into that option chain, and they're going to look to strike. Doesn't mean they'll win, but that's kind of what my play is, what I'm banking off of happening. Um, let's see here. Um, Looks like AMC is holding. Where's AMC at? And I may be off here too. AMC still up 1% on the day, trading at 52.51. It does look like everything is kind of holding down right now. Only Wish and AMC are the only ones green on kind of the stocks that I'm watching. Even the S&P 500 has been 4 red candles in a row. So again, patience. Let's see what happens. CLOV broke 1160 resistance. Now it's going to go even lower. I'm not going to put your other comment up here, Zach, but I don't think we're necessarily screwed with CLOV and bag holders, and that's kind of, and I'm going to address that because you're putting it in the chat. I want to really talk about it. You know, and again, I'm not telling anybody what to do with their stock, but CLOV right now, it's a $10.30. This stock fundamentally should be trading at anywhere from 20 to $30. Even by my newest count, I'd say up to $35. And I've made some videos about that and wrote some DD about it, and also related it to some stuff that Living It did on the subreddit. And he makes a really great case for, on the low side, we should be trading at 20. So to look at this right now, you're getting a half off discount. And that's why I keep saying that I think CLOV is the best squeeze play from an entry point an entry point. You can get in on this squeeze right now at $10 and know that you will not be a bag holder because this stock fundamentally is going to be trading at 20. That's my take on it. That's my feeling on it. I'm not saying it's going to go higher than any other squeeze. I'm not saying it's going to squeeze first. It may not even squeeze, but if it doesn't squeeze, and none of these may not squeeze, but if it doesn't squeeze, this stock is worth 20 on the low end. And that's without any potential future expansion or growth. And that's without even considering the Clover Assistant technology that they have. So I don't think we're making any bag holders today with this 11% drop. It's just, being in a short squeeze, being in a manipulated stock, you got to know what you're getting into. And that's something that's going to have a lot of volatility, a lot of swings. So it's just something to kind of, be prepared for. BNGO, Short City. Are you shorting my stock, Nolan? Or are you saying that other people are shorting it? Uh, I'm in BNGO long term, so I mean, they had some good news today. I think it'll bounce back, and it's just some other little mini announcements and catalysts down the road. They did actually announce that they were expanding into China today, so let's see what happens. Emotional attachment to CLOV is like riding the big Kona waves. Kana, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but big Kahuna. Big Kahuna waves. Yeah, it's just up and down. It's a roller coaster. That's what it is. Um, you know, and you just got to be mentally prepared for it. And I know it's hard. It's hard. It really is, especially when you're, again, like I finally got my portfolio pulled up, and it's not looking pretty this morning. Um, you know, but I think I got 6 months of training with GameStop for kind of being able to stomach some of this stuff. And we'll just kind of have to see where that goes. Do you think Clove is getting down to the $6 to $7 range? I don't, but I'm just one person. I'm not an expert by any means. Um, so I think we're going to find support here somewhere and start moving. 1 second. So Tarheel's actually trying to join right now. Let me make sure he's ready. Um, all right, he's coming on right now. So maybe not. It dropped off. Let me see if he's anyone who's just getting on here. So me and Tar Heel are gonna start doing this every Monday. Markets were closed yesterday, so Tar Heel's gonna come join me today on Tuesday. But moving forward, this will be every Monday. What's up, man? Let me see. Oh, you're in the green room right now. Let me see if I can figure this out. Add to left. There we go. Tar Heel, can you hear me?
I can. Good
All
morning.
right, there we go. Yeah, so you're up. We're live. I'm gonna leave this question up. See what you have to say about this. Do you think Clove is getting down to the 6-7 range before we kind of reverse?
All right. Well, first off, I'd like to say a few things. Um, I haven't had coffee yet. And number one. Number two, your microphone sounds great, by the way.
You know what? I was talking to a buddy of mine who recommended this microphone. He does podcasts,
Yeah.
and he was saying he's like, move it closer to your face too.
No, yeah. That
Yesterday I had
that
it like way
usually
over here.
helps.
Yeah.
Will you send me that link? I don't want to copy or anything, but maybe I'll get a white one. But
Yeah,
and
absolutely I will. I
all right,
picked this one up, and then
cool.
we'll talk about it after. I'll
Yeah.
text you.
And then lastly, number three, congratulations on getting to 3,700 hours.
Oh, with
That one,
the
that one
yeah,
made me laugh.
yeah. So we got
Yeah, I'm
anyone
sure
who's
you
new
did.
right
I'm sure
now.
you didn't tell people, but I thought I'd give you a hard time for that. So
Yeah, yeah. So I hit 1,000 yesterday. And I haven't even really been paying attention to like the whole monetization side or what goes into it. So I had no idea. So after I hit 1,000, I went on there on YouTube and just to look and see, and I clicked on it. And even with the 1,000 subscribers, I'm still not eligible to even kick that off because I sent Tario a text picture of it last night, but I'm only
Oh, I was
at
laughing.
3,700 hours of watch time, so
I,
I still
you
need like
know,
300 more hours.
I did the math on mine, and like I'm gonna be at like 2,200 when I hit mine. I don't know if I can't decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing though.
Oh, 2,200 subs,
No,
2,200 hours,
yeah, I'll be at
2,200
like
hours.
2,200 hours. So I'm like, is that a good thing? I'm like, does that mean like a lot of people are watching my videos? And I don't know. I don't know how to take that quite yet. I haven't processed it,
Yeah,
but
I've never really paid attention to it, like the watch time and all that kind of stuff until
yeah,
yesterday.
I
I
never,
checked it out and I didn't even know
I
that was a
never
thing.
did until I saw that article, or I don't know, somebody was talking about that community tab, but I don't know. So, all right. So, what did he say? Is it going to get down to $6 and $7?
Yeah, what do you think from a technical standpoint? I know, and I know technicals with support levels and all that with these kind of meme stock, popular stocks. And sometimes that stuff could be thrown out the window. But
Man,
what do you
if
think?
it gets down to $6, $7, I'm going to go on somebody's doorstep and hunt them down, whoever's responsible for that. But no, I mean, I think it would have to happen across the board if that would ever happen. I mean, I think AMC would have to go down to $20.
Okay,
I
so
think
you're saying more of like a market, kind of a market wide, like everything's getting hit and tracking together,
absolutely,
and everything's just getting shot down 20%, 30%,
yeah,
and starting to fall.
yeah.
I hear you on that.
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, who could have predicted we'd be down what at 1.15% already today? It's just such. I've never seen manipulation like this. AMC did not even get manipulated like this. I don't know how you feel about it related to GameStop, but no, I don't see it going down from 6 to 7 on a technical level. This is just trickery. I'm
Well,
trying not to swear, but
we definitely saw some crazy stuff like this with GameStop. I mean, if you
hmm
look at some of these days where, I mean, obviously everyone I think is familiar with these days, going from the January going from 480, down
right,
to 113, or from 380 to 250. But even just in between here, I mean, you saw a run up to 350, and then all of a sudden we're all the way back down to 120. Losing almost 60%, and kind of, just we definitely saw multiple days in a row on the SSR, and just a lot of stuff.
yeah.
So I mean.
So on
Um,
that note, did you ever see SSR help? Because I'll tell you, in 4 months of holding AMC, I never saw SSR do anything one day.
No, it
Never.
seemed like something that everybody would get hyped up about, and and for a while it was always like, that was all the posts. That's what everyone was talking about. Like, yeah, we got down 10%. Now we're on SSR tomorrow, and then,
I've
for
never
the
seen it help, not one time.
yeah, it's supposed to be for anyone who's unfamiliar. So that it stands for short sale restriction. Basically, if a stock goes down 10%, in one trading day, on the following trading day, you can't short on downticks. And so what that means is usually when someone's shorting a stock, they're selling a stock, they're borrowing, and sometimes they'll put them there as limit orders and just as like resistance levels. But if they're really trying to violently manipulate a stock, they're going to sell down and just start smashing the bids and breaking through that level two, and dropping the price down. Well, on SSR days they're not supposed to be able to do that, but
But,
um, I
but they
think they've
can.
just figured out ways to get around it.
Well, they can do it through the dark pool.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I've seen our volume trade as high as 60% of the day's volume within the dark pool. So I've never seen it matter. I've just never seen it matter.
I got a question for you, just out of curiosity. Do you know where's the best place to kind of look up that dark pool data in short volume? I know it's on
Yeah,
Fintel, but I think some of that you got to pay for, right?
I think so. Yeah, the website I always see everybody talking about is that I think it's Stock Grid at IO, or yeah, .io, Stock Grid. That's the one where everybody pulls screenshots from.
Okay.
But Market Chameleon was telling me I can't find it now. Like one day I just randomly Googled. This was before Webull. I had access to the VWAP, like good access, but I just Googled VWAP CLOV, and then it pulled up Market Chameleon, and at the bottom of it, I think I might have even taken a screenshot of it, but it said that the total days volume was over 60% coming from the dark pool. So I don't know.
I'm gonna check that out too then, because I know I've seen a bunch of posts, people posting about
Right.
it and that sort of thing, but it's nothing that I've ever looked into myself because it's always, especially in relation to GameStop, on that Super Stonk subreddit, that stuff would be good. You'd see
Right.
like 10 different posts of people talking about it, so
Right.
you wouldn't have to do the research on your own. But
Yeah.
um,
We actually went really deep into it on AMC, and there was there was this guy Joshua
yeah,
James. Do you remember him?
yeah,
Well, he went and he found this website, and I went deep on this. And I think I was the person that actually found out the detailed numbers on the dark pool, but for the life of me, I cannot remember how to get back to that. I just can't. And it was a this was through, I think, the SEC, so it was all official numbers, and it wasn't just exchange reported data from the dark pool coming in on some random or textile website. So, but I'll see if I crack my brain, try to figure something out to see that.
you just need some coffee.
And oh my god, you have no idea. I I want it. I just maybe I shouldn't have those White Claws because my stomach just feels terrible.
Oh, someone
But
asked, what was the question? Uh, he wants to know why you drink White Claws. That the question came
because
up
Coach
before you
does,
jumped on.
I want to be like Coach. I saw in Discord who what's his name? God, I need coffee so bad right now. I want to call him Ant Man.
Oh,
Altrades.
outrage,
He
yeah.
was like, he said that sissy boys drink White Claws up in Canada, and I wanted to respond so bad. I was like, that's the first time I've ever been made fun of by a Canadian.
uh,
I'm not really afraid of Canadians, just across the board. But yeah, I thought that was funny. But I usually I went through a phase where I drank whiskey straight for years, and so I don't know why I drink White Claws, but they're pretty good. It's like 100 degrees here. So what else are you gonna drink?
yeah, no, I like them. Either those or the Trulies. I know I brought it up. I said it last night
Right?
on the stream, but I can't drink beer anymore. It's more of a health thing, so that's why
Yeah.
that's what got me. My wife had been drinking the seltzers for about 2 or 3 years
See,
before.
those seltzers though, it's a trick. It's a trick. Like you would think you're drinking like sort of seltzer. It's water in all effect, right? So you would think like you're like, oh, I'm hydrating while I'm drinking, but you're not. You're getting the worst hangover. You're getting the worst hangover you've ever had in your life. It's like drinking wine with those sulfites. I don't know what White Claw has in it, but whatever it is, it's the devil.
Ah, that's funny.
So
Um, Speaking of last night, anyone who missed it, we did it. So it was supposed to be a community roundtable, but we kind of put it together last minute just for the holiday weekend. But because it was a holiday weekend, some of the other guys that were gonna come on didn't, couldn't make it. One had technical difficulties. It ended up being me and Tarheel, but I think we kicked ass. We did a pretty good job, and but the plan is to continue it. So whether it's I think we said maybe bi-weekly. We haven't set a date yet, but
yeah,
and just to keep getting new blood on and getting new people
yeah.
in to kind of sit and talk, update on the stock, give people different perspectives of Clove, and just build the Clove community. So
And hey, I have a bunch of different thoughts about that. I want to talk to you about. We need something to talk about, right?
yeah,
But but real quick, I wanted to. I saw a question come across by Sucker Punch. Thanks. I haven't seen you yet. Good morning. Welcome. Maybe you want to coach his people, but I haven't seen you. So thanks for that question. But he says it's almost like insiders. You want to throw that up on the
I
screen?
got it right there.
Sorry, I don't know how that stuff works. But he says it's almost like insiders are selling now that they're out of lockup. Yeah, I think this is what they want you to think. I mean, that's what I would do if I were trying to short the hell out of the stock and get people down. So, what do you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I kind of mentioned that earlier, not necessarily in relation to the insider selling, but like this is when the shorts are attacking, and
Hmm.
what they want is they're going to drive, they can only drive it down so much, but once they start to drive it down, they want you to sell, because now you're,
Yeah,
that's going to drop the price even more, and now they're going to come in and buy back for a profit,
right.
and
That's the only
then
way they can win.
yeah, and then do it all over again and try to force some more people to get out. So
Yep.
the longer you kind of hold and everybody just holds on to this stock, now they're just driving it down, you know, a little bit, and they still have
Yeah,
to buy it back. And because volumes potentially is drying up because you're not selling, it's the
that's right.
stock's going to go higher when they have to buy it back.
That's right.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, what news did we have today? I looked at the news tab and it was like, nope, blank.
yeah,
We're not. There's no reason. There's no reason for this. This is all trickery.
I agree.
But
So ATOS, just real quick, someone pointed out in the chat we're up 13, almost 14%. So this could
wow.
be it could be time for it to kind of reverse. Nothing really happening with AVXL, GameStop down 3%.
Did you get rid
Uh
of AVXL?
what's that?
Did you get rid of AVXL?
I did. So I sold it. Here, I'll just show you, since I did it
Yeah,
like
like
during a
that
show
was
one day.
that was the
I
day it was almost closing, and you remembered, right?
Yeah, I got out right there.
Yeah, I
But
was on that stream.
when it came down and filled this gap the other day,
Hmm.
and then I thought maybe it's still going to go down to 22. I jumped back in once
Oh
I
boy.
saw it, because at first I thought it was just trying to fill this gap to 25,
Yeah.
and so I bought back in around here, and now it's still kind of trading lower, but it could
Right.
potentially even get down to 22. We'll see what happens. So I
You,
do.
you have you have bigger balls than I do. I never try to swing trade anymore. I just dollar cost average like a madman. That's been. I always get burnt when I try to swing trade.
Yeah, I think if you, well, I mean, especially if you're doing shares, you
Yeah.
have no expiration, so you got to be able to, you know, from a technical
Right.
standpoint, if it looks like, but you know, the thing that's hard with a lot of these stocks, especially like an ATOS or an AVXL, is there's a long way down. You know, if that thing breaks, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like some of these are
Quick.
up two, three
Real
hundred
quick.
percent.
Yeah. So just kind of a fun technical thing on the daily. The 50-day moving average is, for us, is about to move over the 200. We are real close.
Let's see here. Oh, the 50. I haven't even figured out how to get all those other lines up there. I just have like the
Yeah.
regular, the
Yeah, you just
regular
go with
move.
indicators and then hit the MA, but you got to hit edit indicators, and then you can pick which MAs.
Okay, I got
I
you.
think that
So,
yeah. So just put in your values, and then
oh,
you can
so I
change.
would have to, if I'm gonna do one there, then I gotta like duplicate it and add more. Is that kind of how it works?
Now you just put in your length right there. So where it says 5, 10, 20, 30, you just put in. I think I have 20, 50, 100, 200.
Oh,
So
right
one of
here,
the yeah, yeah,
50. I'm just gonna see what this looks like, because this is a lot different than like my Thinkorswim software. You know how you would
yeah.
pull that stuff up. So how does that change now? Did it?
So I'm trying to see your screen. Did it not pop up? So it says your MA is. I can't see your screen.
That's fine. I'll figure it. We could figure it out. I'm sure
Yeah,
no one else wants to look at this right now.
yeah, I know.
uh,
Too
but
early.
it's
Yeah,
just something I got to continue to kind of figure out. I didn't mean to
yeah.
cut you off either. You were talking about
No,
the 50-day moving up, um,
that's
crossing
it
over, right?
basically. Yeah, it's that's obviously so that's a golden cross. Anytime a shorter term moving average moves over a longer term moving average, it's considered a golden cross. And the one we always like to look out for is the 200. That's the one we want to trade above from a technical standpoint, just because it's the long term moving average. It's the long term trend of where the stock is and where it's heading. So eventually, what we want to see is all those short term moving averages trade above that 200. And the one we really, really, really want to see is the 100. Um, and that I was calling that for maybe probably next week or the week after. But that's the big golden cross where it essentially what it says is all the simple short term moving averages are going to start trading are now at that point where they're riding above the 200. So that's a healthy channel. And then I went back and looked at AMC, I think in GameStop too, but AMC, all those short term simple moving averages were riding parallel to the 200 before they squoze. So they had already actually crossed over. So I think what that signals to us is that, like we've been talking about a million times before, I think we're going to see when those start to go over the 200, we're going to see healthy stair stepping for a while. I mean, I saw a really good Reddit post that said, chill out, this could take months. So I think we'll see those short-term moving averages on a TA standpoint ride above the 200 for a while. And then I think we'll see some sort of break after that down the road.
Yeah. Just real quick. So Chef, it was the 50 crossing the 200, right?
Yeah, on the daily.
Yeah. Okay. I just
Yeah,
wanted to get that answer real quick, and then yeah, and the other thing, when these things happen, like 50 cross the 200, and some of those more indicators that more and more swing traders look at, that's going to drive in volume in itself, right? I mean, there's people who scan for those type of things,
exactly.
look for those type of signals that are going to, see something like that and pile into a stock, no matter what the stock is. They don't care what the fundamentals are. They just,
Right.
that's a buy
Right.
signal for them. So, um,
Hey, I
let's
have a
see
question
here.
for you. Uh, Sorry, I saw him, Ego Nunya.
Yep.
He said about the FTDs. You want to talk about
I was
FTDs
just
for
gonna
me?
pull that up. It's funny
Okay.
because I started that one, and that was where I was gonna go next.
Uh,
But
Go for it.
oh, well, I was gonna say, so the 30 failure to deliver is the 8th. So I mean, and I don't know that date for fact. I'd have to look that up to see if that's actually when it is. But
Why do you
if
say 30 though? Why is the 30 important?
my understanding is always T21
Right.
was 21 days for institutions and hedge funds, that those sort of people, and then market makers had 35 days. So that could
Right.
even, I like I said, I don't know about this 30-day on the 8th thing, so I'd have to look that up. But if that was the case with these failure to delivers, um, then I would say you're absolutely right. That's exactly what we used to see with GameStop and still do see. Like when a T21 day is coming up, or there's this big failure to deliver day coming up, they try to hammer the price down as low as they absolutely can, knowing that they're going to have to come back in and buy those shares on that
Right.
given day. So I'm actually writing that down right now. Um, July 8th, and kind of I'll look into that and just kind of see,
Thursday.
unless you have more information, you want to throw it in the chat, and then I'll pull it up. Um, so
But I
real,
also saw somebody saying that I've seen this so many times. Oh, they have to cover by a certain date. They don't ever have to cover. I was watching that. You probably didn't watch that whole video. I knew you were fishing, but that Dr. Suzanne Trimbuth video, it was either her or Wes Christian. No, it was her. She was talking about the fact that in '08, when the Lehman Brothers got burnt on all their short positions, she said it took them 10 years to cover their short positions. So, no, they don't ever have to cover fails to deliver.
it just becomes
They,
expensive for them.
yeah,
The
well,
longer they drag it out.
exactly. And, you know, obviously it's peanuts in comparison to what they would pay if they covered, but it's usually fines, yeah, or just like don't do that again, and then you know they'll have a fine for having a fine, and then they'll have another regulation for violating another regulation, and it's a rabbit hole of nonsense is what it is. So
No, absolutely. I'm just gonna put this up here real quick. D Worm says like and subscribe. Yeah. So you guys,
yeah,
if you're new to the stream, so I've been doing this every morning from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on the West Coast. Tarheel's gonna start joining me on Mondays, every Monday. Hopefully, in the morning, kind of doing this together. But his link is in the description of this video. So if you guys, Tarheel, he's got his own channel. He's making great videos. Go on there and give him a subscribe as well. And check him out. And he does do some live streams occasionally too. Are you doing one today?
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing power hour every day.
Nice. Okay. Perfect. And
Yep.
that's the other thing I was going to say, but I didn't want to put them on the spot.
Oh
But
yeah. Oh yeah.
uh, so I've been doing the mornings, and then Tarheel's going to take over the afternoons, and then he'll start doing the power hour, hopefully. And I'll be in there watching. If anyone go check out his channel, hit subscribe button, and join us on his side for power hour today.
Appreciate it. And you know what's funny now? We got a few minutes here. So if you didn't catch the live stream last night, of course, mine always involved me somehow drinking. I don't know why. I hope it's not going to happen this morning, but but I would if you guys get me to 500. I'll have a drink. But but I think it went up to like three. I want to call it 58, and then I swear to you, 5 minutes after we got off the stream, it dropped like 12. I'm like, man, you buggers, you guys. So
Oh, so like people that subscribed during, and they
yeah,
kind of like jumped off or whatever.
they're just trying to get me to drink,
Yeah,
unsubbing.
I like how the bar kept lowering. So originally you said 400, and then I said, and I went in there and looked. I'm like, you know what? Let's make it 350 because I just wanted to
Yeah,
kind of get it.
anything for the fans, anything for the fans. But I know I was texting you last night a little bit. I did go back and watch that, and we did the Monday I came on a couple of weeks ago. I had my best friend down in there. He's kind of a marketing guru, and I wanted his feedback on it. And he said something to me. It didn't really hit until I watched last night. That I know like there were certain circumstances we obviously had to talk about a lot of subjects where we were really only expecting to talk about a couple a piece. But I felt like we were talking. I felt like I just was, like what do they call it, mouth vomit. I felt like I couldn't shut up the whole time I was talking too much, and then I went and watched it, and I was like, wow, it doesn't even seem like we scraped the surface on a lot of these subjects. And my point was that the same thing my buddy told me, who lives down in Florida. He said, you guys need to like slow down, talk about each subject in depth. He said that's what everybody's kind of wanting to see. And I kind of felt the same way when I was watching us. And I was kicking myself because you're such a great setup, man. You said something about the Clover Assistant, and I was thinking to myself, come on, say something about the Clover Assistant and go into that. And I did it. And I said, I don't even know what I started talking about. I think the lockup and some nonsense. But that was my feedback, at least from watching it.
Yeah, I was there was I kind of got a very similar, take too, like where I was like, I talked about this, but then I didn't really go into depth.
Right.
And I think it's just like you said, we had that agenda that was kind of laid out, and it was like we had so much that we were gonna cover.
Yeah.
Um but it was like
Well,
trying to make sure we hit all those key points and not turn it
right.
into a 5 hour
Right.
thing.
Well,
Um
what's funny too, in normal conversation, it's polite not to talk forever about something, right? And then we get on this, and it's kind of the exact opposite. We need to fill the time and go in depth on these subjects that people want us to talk about. So, learning every day, getting better at this, and that was my feedback for us. Just wanted to know what you thought on it. But yeah, there was too much to go through. We could have been on that stream for 10 hours if we were going in depth on everything.
So real quick, Clove, we did what just while we've been sitting here kind of talking, we did trade above VWAP. We held above it. And it looks like we're kind of holding it as support now. So just from we've been above for about 20 minutes now. I just saw a co-creator say that in the chat, and I just wanted to throw that out there. And we're at $10.50 for anyone who's listening, and not watching. Still down 10% on the day. ATOS has been just kind of ripping upwards, back up to 17%, trading at 630. This may end up being huge. I know, Tario, you said you're 100% Clove. I know that, but this is one that
Yeah.
I just kind of like threw in a very tiny position, just basically a bet. I mean, I don't have, huge expectations. I know a lot of times these gamma squeezes, as you know, the market makers have, they're trying their hardest to suppress the price, but the setup on this thing was just absolutely insane. Think about the float size of, uh, even CLOV, and I think ATOS is a little bit smaller even. And there's some calls that are like the open interest is like 50,000, which is basically like 5 million shares if it goes in the money. I mean, just the gamma squeeze potential, and I keep saying potential because obviously these things are hard to hit. But so, anyways, that was what I did there. I just kind of threw in on that and just see if it takes off or not. And right now it's looking pretty strong. What
So
is
we're chilling at 1060. I cannot believe we're down as low as 20% at one point. It just blows my mind. I
Yeah.
don't. I think this is all short volume. Have you checked Ortex yet?
Okay. Yeah. Let me come over here. So, um, I can pull it up on the screen too, just so we can all take a look at it. But basically, and let me make sure this is updated. Again, this is just tracking the net difference in borrowed shares on the day, but only 341,000 returned, 1.34 million borrowed. So a net difference of 1 million shares borrowed today. Um, estimated
Mine says
short.
Monday. Changes for Monday.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, yesterday was Monday. So what it's doing is this updates throughout the day. This one down here, the live short interest, and so
Right.
it's basically showing us the changes since yesterday. And really there was no market open on yesterday, but so this is where you can kind of track the live. Usually I've seen this changing throughout the day. This numbers up here are current just as of this morning. You know what I mean? And they won't change until tomorrow.
Right. It's just
Um,
weird that it says live updates and then it says changes from Monday. I got you.
yeah, so basically from yesterday's market. So this
Yep.
is so like tomorrow's will say changes from Tuesday 7 a.m. and that'll be the changes based on
Yeah.
this data that's just kind of locked. Um,
So shares on loan 50.78 million and estimated current short interest about 39 million. So 50 minus 39 means they have 11 million shares to attack us with. And again, I think Ortex is compromised. I think the short interest is higher than that. Let's just say it's 45. I think there's always a 5 million share threshold that they try to keep for supply. But that would be my guess, that there's anywhere from 4 to 5 million shares still out there
yeah. Well, I mean,
that
and
are
we've seen this number right here. The shares on loan as high as 61. Now,
right.
obviously, that could change if you know people were turning off their share lending, or certain someone came in and bought up some shares that are no longer
Right.
available. But we have seen this get as high as 61, so the shares on loan, so there is
Yeah.
potentially even 11 million out there. Who knows? Cost to borrow in terms of Vortex, I'll bring that up too. Looks like that dropped from Friday. I got to figure out how to.
Yeah.
There we go. It's 11% on the low, 29 medium, 74 high, or not medium, but average. 29% is the average. So
And
that's a little
we both showing 48.3.
okay. Yeah, and then iBorrow Desk was even higher. iBorrow Desk is showing. Oh, it dropped a little, 37. It was 67 earlier, but all of these numbers are significantly high. So even down at 37% now from interactive brokers, or the low on Ortex of 11.9 are still high numbers. You know, for someone to have to pay when they're borrowing the stock, and that's just putting pressure on them to eventually want to return these shares. Um,
So we got some FUD in the comments.
let's see.
And we can take it. We can take it. Yeah, my portfolio is 100% clove, and you're entitled to your opinion. you're allowed to pick on me and coach. Just keep it that way. Don't pick on anybody else in the community. But my man, that is some serious FUD because this is a we've already gone into the reasons why this is a great long term growth stock. So I don't know why you're here, but
That's what I
you know,
always say too. Like if you don't like the stream, by all means hit the thumbs down. But then again, like
yep,
why be in here? Um,
yeah,
but absolutely, and I kind of talked about it even before you came on today. I don't know if you were watching or not, but yeah, I mean, like, okay, so the stock's down 10% today or 15% today, but that doesn't change my long term outlook on it. It's not
not
like
at
there
all.
some news came out today that makes this stock worth any less. It's just heavily manipulated, and that's the volatility that you kind of have to be used to when you're or get accustomed to when you're in a short squeeze play. And I know from AMC, and I got my experience from GameStop, but my long term perspectives of this stock is still right now. This stock is worth anywhere from 2 times to 3 times what it should be right now
Easy
based off the fundamentals. So
on a fundamental, yeah,
yeah, knock it down to 10. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm still holding because
right,
the stock's worth 20. So it's
right.
it's kind of that's my take on that. Oh, we got one thumbs down. Nice. All right. So someone out there
Nice.
doesn't like it. That's good.
I'm
It doesn't
glad it's
bother
not
me
my
at all.
stream. Glad it's not my stream, coach.
um,
So I saw an interesting article on that note. If you want to make the bear case and frame it, in a respectful way, go for it. But just getting in here and spreading FUD is that's BS in my opinion. But if you want to come in here and say, yeah, we're free cash flow negative, technically we're losing money. Let's have that argument. There was a good article that came out. Let's see, it was off Insider Monkey, July 3rd, and I didn't see this anywhere. Actually, one of my friends on Reddit sent me this, and it's commenting on the quarter. CFO Joe Wagner said in a statement, in the first quarter, we delivered a record setting $200 million in revenue, which was quickly followed by the launch of our direct contracting entity. And let's see here. He says, notably, the Clover Assistant continues to power improved financial outcomes, demonstrated by an MCR differential of more than 1,000 basis points. And then this past quarter, the positive traction we saw across our business was partially offset by elevated COVID-related costs. And this is the last thing he said. While we expect to continue to experience heightened levels of utilization in the near term, we couldn't be more excited about the long-term potential to drive strong outcomes for both our members and investors. So he was very adamant about the fact that, yeah, COVID hit Clover Health pretty hard, but we're going to bounce. I'm starting to see the numbers trend towards a positive outlook for earnings.
okay. Um, we got a couple more thumbs downs now too, so we'll see what
Oh
happens.
man,
It's all
he
good though. Like I don't mind at all. And someone even said in here, you guys can't get upset over little comments. It's YouTube. No, I'm not upset at all. Unless you're talking to people that are in the chat. I'm not upset.
right.
I don't mind people expressing their opinion and that sort of thing. It's just part of it. And there's gonna be but I do agree with what Tarheel's saying in that um to come in here and knock somebody else, I don't know. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but if you're not enjoying the stream, why are you watching it? I guess is more of the, kind of the biggest
Well,
point.
I always liked what Trey said. Trey always said, "You can attack me, just don't attack my people." That was it. So I follow that mantra.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. The only pattern people see over the last 3 weeks is CLOV getting stomped and side trading, stomped and side trading. So people are worried. But that's what the hedge funds want. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're trying to, um, again, knock this stock down to get you to sell so that it would drive it lower so that they can eventually buy them back at a cheaper price. Brett, have you talked about ATOS? Yeah, kind of been covering it a little bit on and off. I mean, it's ripping today. It's up 17%. Um, we kind of went over the options data on it, and all those calls are still there. All the open interest is still there, so it still has that potential for the gamma squeeze. And I'll get to this really quick, and then I'll get back to our other ones. But it did look like last week on Friday specifically, it was trying to fill these specific gaps, and it did. And so, kind of when we signed off on Friday, my suspicion was that it was ready to kind of start reversing. And I think obviously we're going to hit a ton of resistance for market makers trying to suppress this gamma squeeze from kicking off. But I also suspect that there's some big money on the other side that loaded up the chain. So if we are able to continue to push forward, I think we're going to really see some exciting movement here before July 16th, because the option chain still has that open interest in there. All right, that's my take on ATOS. Let's see here. 70 shares of CLOV at an average price of $12.90. Don't be sad at all. I think you'll be I I think you'll be fine. I think my average right now is probably right around there. I mean, I had bought in at 6 and then doubled up a little bit at 17 after that dip that after the run up to 28, and then I've kind of just been buying here and there, and I think my average right now is kind of in that same range. So I again, not financial advice, but that's exactly kind of where I'm sitting right now, and I'm not stressing at all. I think
Mine is much higher if it makes anybody feel any better. So I need y'all to come pick me up. And I'm not going anywhere until I'm not even gonna think about selling shares until we hit 100. So I mean, I got made fun of when I was in AMC. I bought AMC at $6, and everybody thought I was crazy. And so I think I have a little bit of foresight into this somehow. I just had terrible timing. So, but I'm gonna hold this bad man jammer. You know what I
okay.
haven't seen anyone say ever, which it just kind of occurred to me. I've seen people trash the stock and present a bear case and do and say whatever, but I've never heard somebody say that this stock is not being manipulated. It's just obvious.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody who's just joining, Tar Heel, it does have a channel. I have a link in the description of this video. Go subscribe to Tar Heel. Show him the support, and also he's going to be doing Power Hour this afternoon, streaming. So check it out. I know we obviously have a lot more people on here today. I'm seeing kind of higher numbers here on the stream, and I appreciate it. Thank you for the support, everybody. But really get on there and check him out. And he'll be doing Power Hour later this evening or later this afternoon. For anyone who's just joining both of us for the first time.
Yeah, as long as I can wake up, start feeling better.
Yeah.
Might need some hair of the dog.
Well, it's later for you right now too. It's 10:30 where you're at.
Yeah, I've been up. I just wasn't feeling great. So, like I said, I just haven't felt like drinking coffee quite yet, but I'll get there. I got to go run around town and just do some nonsense. I got a commercial building, and one of my tenant is having some plumbing problems, so I got to go and look at the damn toilet, see if I can figure it out. I don't know what else,
Let's
but
see. My
man,
ATOS calls are green for the day. Yeah, I'm that's one of my only green. That's one of my. That's the only thing on my portfolio that's green for the day so far. So but it's still early. It's still early, and a lot of these things are, seem to be reversing. We'll see if CLOV can kind of hold VWAP right now. We do have some support levels at 1035, 1040, 1038, 1035, 1030. So there's a ton of buying. But then there's also kind of this sell wall. I mean, 11,000 ain't shit though. I don't think that's anything to.
yeah, we got some juicy candles off that bottom. Some juicy green candles on the 10 minute. I look at the
10.
10 minute.
Let me see here. Okay. So when you're normally watching stocks, it's actually a good kind of transition. So when I'm day trading, which I haven't really day traded a lot recently, but when I'm day trading, I always look at a 1 minute. And that's kind of your fastest indicator
Right.
that I've found. But when we're kind of just sitting here watching, I
Yeah,
always just kind of think that the 5 minute is a lot easier to watch. It's less volatile. It moves a little
right.
slower. So, um, but I heard you say that you like looking at the 10 minute too. So maybe if you want to kind of
Yeah,
go into what it is you're looking at and all that kind of stuff.
I do. The 10 minute to me, I think every stock is different, and I think I'm still trying to feel out my way with Clove. But obviously, the 10 minute is just spread out a little longer, and I think definitely the 1 minute is only to be used for day trading. You can't really tell what something's doing um, on the day's basis by looking at the 1 minute. So 5 minute to me, it's just kind of all over the place still.
Yeah,
And because if you look at the five after we bounced off of the low for today, it just still, I don't know, it still just makes me a little nervous seeing that red green. The 10 minute just looks a little more accurate as opposed to, because it's kind of felt like we kicked off $10 and we came up to 1040, 1050 without much resistance, and the five is kind of showing some resistance and the 10 isn't. So that's just kind of like how I feel that the stock has reacted.
got you, got you. Okay. That makes sense. What indicators do you like to look at? I mean, for me, VWAP is one that I've always looked at, and it's always been, usually I'm used to having some bands up top and the bottom that kind of like were part of the package deal with VWAP with Thinkorswim.
Yeah.
That kind of show you some upper and lower resistance levels, and it's just a matter of me taking the time to
uh,
figure out.
some some Bollinger Bands.
Yeah, but it's just a matter of me figuring out how
Yeah,
to get all that stuff set up in here, and I
right.
haven't I haven't really taken the
Well,
time to
so
yet.
the RSI right now, I mean, we're below 30 on the 10 minute. We're at 28, 26.
Yeah,
So we are in completely oversold territory right now.
same. So on the 5 minute before we bounced up, we hit as low as 2.6, and right now on the
Yep.
5 minute we're trading at 29.70. So same thing. Still, I also have this RSI down there. I don't know if you could tell looking at the it's
Yeah.
probably a lot smaller, but
But
that's another one that I always kind of keep up to take a look at.
yeah, I look to the RSI and the MACD as confluence. Those two combined can tell you what's going on. And then I found that just from a long term trend, I found that the 4 hour works best for me to take a look at what's going on with Clove. And like I said, I think every stock reacts a little differently on different time frames. But the if you take a look at the 10 minute MACD, the strength of that downtrend, it's starting to wane. And even when the RSI was at its lowest point, the MACD was still in a strong downtrend. So if you take a look at the bars, as soon as the MACD started curling up and the RSI started curling up, at that point there was enough confluence to show me on the 10 minute that we were starting to come in and starting to add some good buying pressure in there. So
I'm gonna pull this up right here just because I have just and it's bigger. It's just so we can kind of see exactly what you're
there you
talking
go.
about. So there
Yep.
we go. Is RSI? And you want to go 10 minute? All right.
Yep.
So
So
how?
if you take a look at the thickest red bar down there,
Yeah.
basically the RSI is at its lowest point. And then as soon as those both start to curl up at the same time, like I said, I use it as confluence, which means that you can't really just look at one indicator by itself. But if you see two start to react the same way, you can start to establish a trend. And the MACD, for those of you who don't know, is the convergence divergence. And that is actually one of the few what's considered leading indicators. The rest of them are considered lagging indicators. So you can tell actually what's going on more so in real time. And it tells the strength of a trend. So if those red bars are really heavy, then there's a very strong, consistent selling pressure going on in the stock. But if you see that and you see the RSI dip below 30, then you know we're in complete
Oversold.
oversold territory. And so to me, if I was day trading the stock, if I saw thick on the MACD and the RSI was way below 30, that's an entry point.
especially right here when we were
Uh,
at what
yeah, if you just,
3.91. Yeah,
but I mean, I think anytime you can time it, and anytime you can get the RSI under 30, and that's it, you're not going to be able to see the low point. But anytime you're under 30, that's a solid entry point.
yeah. Let me see here. I'm just trying to catch up on these comments. We got let's see. Andre's
Hey,
got 700 at 852. That's a great average. Um,
hey, we got some co-creators letting me know. He just texted me. He said he'll mod for us if you want, but he said that somebody's going off in the chat.
oh, yeah, I'm way behind. Let me see.
Oh, Gergevin,
All right, I took care of it. You know what? Let me
we
do
got
this.
bots.
Yeah, let me do this real quick. All right, I just did, but I've been meaning to do this in co-creator. I'm gonna go in and add you as a mod right now because I know we were talking about it, and that way, I just got to figure out how.
It's funny to me that have you ever gone on Yahoo Conversations? It's just funny to me how people think they can jump in a message board and convince like 50 people to sell the stock by saying that it's a bad company or whatever. It's just laughable. It's like, don't you have anything better to do?
Let's see. Add moderator. There we go. All right, I just wanted to take care of that right now. So co-creator, I think you should be up there now. I know we talked about it on Friday during Tarheel's live stream, and I never did it. I didn't know we were gonna get attacked like that. See, I never have this
Yeah,
type of trouble, Tar Heel. I think you brought the you're bringing the shills out.
bring them, bring it on.
So I was on my way to try to catch up and see
Right.
what we missed in the chat. I'm not even scrolling up that far. If you put a comment that we didn't get to that you still want us
Yeah.
to look at, re-put it because there's so much stuff in there. You know, um, let's see
It's
here.
funny. Well, like I was saying, I think on our first one, when we have more people in here, it's gonna come. It's gonna happen. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna need multiple mods, honestly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we could definitely figure that out. I mean, I'm this is all very new to me, and I know it to you as well. So we're
Yeah,
I didn't even know how to create a mod yesterday. I figured it out during that or right before we started that live stream for the CLOV subreddit. So
right on.
and again, shout out to Representative Dark Four for helping out with that with the the modding, and then also blah blah Hundo for helping organize the event and all the mods of the CLOV subreddit.
Yeah, that was
Um,
fun. I think everybody had a good time. Did you see that picture? He had us up on his big screen. Coach,
our boys back in here.
what?
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Did you hit block or kick or what'd you
Yeah,
hit?
I just did the band right now. Um, all right. Yeah, sorry about that. What'd you say he had the? Oh yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that
On the
cracked us up.
Discord, he had us up on his TV in his house. That was
Oh my
awesome.
god.
Um, so yeah, that was fun. And again, I know there's new people in here right now. So yesterday we did a what was gonna be a round table with me, Tar Heel. I know Dutch was scheduled to come on, out trades, and we were
Yeah,
trying to
it was
get
more of
some
like a
others too.
square table.
Yeah, but we're looking to continue to do this. This was organized with the CLOV subreddit, and we really just want to bring awareness to the community and kind of get everybody to follow everybody, not only just us, but people who are putting out good information on Twitter and get people to go out and retweet their stuff and just build awareness to this entire kind of CLOV community. And so while yesterday it ended up just being me and Tar Heel, we are going to do some more moving forward, and maybe make it like a bi-weekly thing on Sunday nights, and we're still trying to work it out. But getting getting some new blood in there and getting some new people to come in and join us. So um, something to look forward to. But I had a blast last night, even though it was just us two.
Yeah, yeah,
It
that
was
was fun.
fun.
That was. I was stressing out about it a little bit yesterday because there were some things that had happened earlier we won't go into, but just some late minute cancellations, I guess,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But it
And
just kind of was a little bit stressful. But yeah, it was fun. We got through it. I think everybody had a good time.
yeah, well, I thought, well, I know we're totally off topic, but,
It's all right.
I went fishing yesterday, and so I had my phone with me and, I was trying to kind of stay updated, like, all right, well, I'll be back at this time and we'll kind of all catch up with everyone who's coming on and all this. And then, I actually fell off the boat into the river with my phone in my pocket. Um, Anybody who has never heard of an OtterBox, it's like this little case that goes on your phone. It worked. I came out of the water, took my phone out of
Yeah,
it, and it was still. But I was nervous that I wasn't even going to be able to
yeah.
communicate with you guys
It
up until
it
the.
kind of worked. You were having some phone problems with us
Yeah.
initially, so you might want to still go through that in a bowl of rice or something. I think I would.
Well, my wife's been telling me for a while now that I need a new phone as it is. I don't know what kind of iPhone this is. I think it might be a 7. And what's iPhone at now? Like 11?
Bro, I got an 8. It's good. I'm glad. Did we just become best friends?
He got maybe this is an 8. But I know it's old. I know it doesn't take the cool pictures like a lot of these other ones. I think mine has like the one lens, and I've noticed some people have two, and I think my wife's phone even has three
Yeah.
lenses on it. So,
I like
um,
the fact that I can put my thumb on there and unlock it. I don't want to have to put it to my face because I don't know. When I sleep, I'm like a wounded bear. And then I wake up at like 4 a.m. and I don't want to grab my phone and try to. I know it can do it in the dark, but I think the camera comes on to see your face. I don't want to mess with all that. Just give me my thumbprint.
yeah.
Let me be on my way.
Does
But
anybody know? Does the newer iPhones, can you still do thumbprint? I have no idea. I've never
I
even
don't think I don't think so.
Yeah, but I definitely I need one. I mean, I think I've been due for an upgrade. You get the free upgrade like every couple years. I don't think I've upgraded in maybe 4 or 5. It's been a
I don't think they don't do free upgrades anymore. They do subsidies. So you pay for it monthly. It's like, 25 bucks a month or whatever.
gotcha. See, it's been so long. I missed out on my free
Right.
upgrades.
I actually I sold phones for 6 years. That's what I did back when I was a young man.
I used to sell Nextels.
Did you?
Yeah,
The push to talk,
yeah,
chirp chirp.
the little radio ones. Yeah, for a short
Yeah.
time.
I worked
Uh,
for Sprint. I worked for Sprint Nextel corporate. I was a business account executive, and I came in. It was 2009. I worked for them. I worked for Verizon corporate before that, but man, everybody in there was a huge hangover. I'm assuming you were in retail, but in the corporate offices, there was a $40 billion merger when Sprint bought Nextel, and I think that's still on their books to this day. That was the worst thing that ever happened to that company, Nextel.
yeah. Let's see. Co-creator says we don't have to worry about upgrades after we go to the moon. Absolutely.
Upgrade. It's true. I'll have my butler just hold my phone to my face.
Yeah. You wake up in the morning, there's just some guy standing there.
Well, I mean, I have that anyway. I don't know who he is, but maybe one day I'll get a fancy person.
We got another Android person. You guys know I always talk about my neighbor and his loud gardener and how his leaves blow into my backyard. And I've always, kind of mentioning him. He's an Android guy too. Um, always giving him shit about that. But I don't know. I like iPhones.
Yeah,
Um,
iPhones are for dummies. That's why I can use it. Android,
yeah.
you got to be smart. That's the way I've always considered it, which I'm definitely not.
Oh, look at this. iPhone SE released last year has the fingerprint sensor. Okay.
For real?
I guess so. That's what Jackie says. Thank you.
All right.
I'll have to check that out. Um, you know what? I don't know the actual answer. So, is it possible to do an accurate share count for the retailers? So like I guess, and I think I saw this question right before we kind of got spammed, and I didn't get a chance to really go back there and grab it. But basically, is there a way to know exactly how much of the float retail owns? My assumption would be no, but if you do have a better answer than that, um,
Yeah, so no, there's no exchange reported retail numbers, but you can work backwards and try to kind of figure it out. So if you say, if you say on a bad day, well, let me put it this way. It's either there's been the only numbers that have been reported for overall float Class A shares have been 112 million and 148 million that I've seen. So if you just take the worst of those two and say, okay, there are 148 million Class A shares, and you work backwards, well, I mean, so you can help me out with this, Coach. But who has Class A shares, right? Vanguard has a little over 26 million. I haven't gone through FinTel to add up all the other institutions, but let's
I
just
know
put them
Green Oak
20.
has like 96.
Yeah, but those are B. Those are Class B.
Oh yeah, that. Sorry,
Yeah.
still
No,
still.
so waking up.
Yep.
Get some Folgers in your cup.
Yeah.
So so 26 from Vanguard and 20. Let's just call it 24 for easy math for all other institutions. So let's call that 50. And then I actually somebody on Reddit sent me a really good message. They were saying something about Chamath possibly having $3 warrants, and I said to him, I was like, "That's a great point. You kind of found the only flaw in my spreadsheet that I knew of, but I could find all of Chamath's shares. I don't have it pulled up, but I think he owns, like they said, like over 30 million. But I could only find his initial 10 million from the pipe, and then 11 million in warrants. But let's just, okay, on that note, let's just say
21
those
million.
are Class A. Let's call it 30 because that's what investor relations actually came out and said,
Okay.
I believe, and I think they said those were Class A. Let me take a look real quick.
That would put us basically at about 80, right?
Okay. Um yeah, okay, Class A. Yep. So that would put us at 80. And then if you say worst case scenario, we got 150 in Class A. I haven't had any coffee, but I think that's 70 million.
Yeah. The only reason I say it's hard to gauge is with shorting, right? You're creating kind of like phantom shares. So someone's buying shares that don't exist, and they're selling them in. So it's really hard to get an accurate number, because even if the reported number out there is 150 million, there could actually be, like how we just came up with the 70 million number. There could actually be 150 shares owned by retail, or at least 100 million shares owned by retail, but there's no like true report of it anywhere. But there is,
Right.
sometimes, I know if anyone's noticed, sometimes you see, I think GameStop at one point, it showed that like institutional ownership was like over 100%, and I think that's kind of plays into that, right? I mean, if there's more shares kind of out there than what are supposed to be, is that kind of
Yeah,
your
I don't
understanding?
know. I've seen that 105% or whatever it is of institutional ownership. And, the short answer is, well, obviously you can't own more than 100% of something, the very, very short answer. And then, but if you go the Class A route, not talking about institutions, then you can start talking about naked short selling and writing naked calls and all that good stuff. But I don't know. I've racked my brain to try to understand why. I the only thing I really think, if I had to put money on it, I would say that the exchange reported data on the Class A shares was just incorrect, and then they follow the institutions a little harder, so they actually have real good data on the fact that Vanguard, for example, owns 26 million shares. So if that number is accurate and then the other number from float is inaccurate, then that's the only way I could see it happen in that regard.
Makes
But
sense.
but yeah, if synthetic longs start to take shape as placeholders and get reported as long shares, maybe that could come into play too. I don't know, but I would think the number would go up in that instance, not down.
Ross says, what would cause the day of reckoning for naked shorting and synthetic shares? Um, I mean, there's one scenario where I would say just, like if and when, whether it be AMC or GameStop or any of those absolutely, or CLOV, or any of these highly shorted stocks just absolutely explodes and gets these guys trapped into this situation to where they're almost, kind of what everybody's been talking about, where you have people kind of going bankrupt and losing their ass because they participated in these illegal market tactics. I think that would be a kind of a big learning lesson for, and maybe that would maybe deter some people from getting into that situation, because I think the market in general has kind of gotten into this like short busting strategy now, right? Like you look around and it's like whenever there's a highly shorted stock, you see retail pile in, and they're kind of making it so that maybe people would not want to do that. But I think the only thing that would really maybe prevent it, if that's where the question's going, is going to be more SEC enforcement. And even though the laws exist, they have to actually do something about it. And it can't be a fine that's only a fraction of what they stand to make through doing this type of stuff. I mean, one, a law is only a law if it gets enforced. But two,
Right.
the punishment, the crime can't, or the punishment can't be worth the crime. Like it can't be like, oh, okay, well, it's yeah, I'll break the law if I'm going to make $1 billion and you're going to fine me 1 million. Who cares? So I
Right.
mean, that's part of it too.
Well, Suzanne Trimbuth, again, going back to that video, she was saying that there actually was a law passed by Congress that said that the clearinghouses actually had the right to go to these prime brokerages and market makers to kick them out the first time that failures to deliver uh, were not given back. And she said the first time that they went to somebody like Goldman and Sachs and says you're out, you would never see another failure to deliver again, ever. And I think it's going to take something like that to happen, or maybe they get a suspension for, hell, even a week would be amazing. But yeah,
Yeah.
but
No.
the other answer on that is, in my opinion, is right now I want to. I think I would love to see volume. I would love to see a ton of volume, and for those shorts to get trapped. And then I would see us. I would love to see us not pull back to the beginning of the impulse.
Yeah. So I guess what you're saying there, for anyone who's maybe not so, like, let's say we get another volume type run, and this time we hit a newer high, right? Like we get up to, let's say, 30 or 40, 50. But now when we fall back down, we don't want to fall back down to 12. We want to, kind of create a new floor, right? That kind of what you're
Yeah, exactly. If you want to do, not you, but anybody, if, for example, if you want to take a look at a Fibonacci retracement, you start from the beginning of the impulse and you take a look at the top of the wave to see where it pulls back from. And if we go from $10 to $28 within a few days, at very, very worst case scenario, that's an $18 gain. You really don't want to see it retrace more than $9. Oftentimes, there's what's called that golden pocket, to where it retraces back at the 61.8% level. It's 61.8% to 65%. So again, if we go up to 28, I really don't want to see a pullback lower than 21. I can't do math right now. No, I guess a $9 pullback. So we don't want to go any lower than 19.
yeah. No, that makes sense. And then that's kind of that stair stepping too. I mean, a little bit more drastic. I mean,
Exactly.
I know like natural or more organic looking charts would kind of see us making 5 to 10% gains, which are still huge, but slow movement. But if we do get like you're saying, a big volume and a nice big pop that kind of drives us up there, on a 1 day or 2 days where we get another huge gainer. So you're just
Mhm.
looking. We don't want to fall back more than 50.
Right.
And on
And
this,
have you, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just say on this most recent run up, if we just say, we where did we start up? Maybe from 7 to 28. Is that where we went over the course of
Yeah, that's fair. You typically on fib retracements, you go on the impulse waves. Impulse just being the start of the rise and then to the top of it.
mhm.
But I mean, I think that's a decent way to look at it too, for sure.
I'm just thinking over the course of even from here,
Yep,
7 to 28. So we basically gained about 21, and then losing 14 off of that would put us at right around 14, which is actually where we ended up when we were holding this level for a while.
right.
So okay,
And that's why I just think it's huge manipulation because when you have buyers and sellers acting in an appropriate way of how buyers and sellers usually act, then it'll follow levels, it'll follow double bottoms, and it'll follow the Fibonacci retracement. But when you have market makers and hedge funds selling against you with naked shorting and just overall short positions, they know that as well, and then they see that levels, and then they just beat it to hell because at that is the point where they can pick up our shares. They can accumulate more supply. So that's how the game is played.
all right.
And have you seen the threshold list?
That's the reg show. The now the last time I looked, I don't believe CLOV's on there, right? I know AMC got added recently.
Yeah, I haven't looked in a few days, but I see Nolan's asking about or talking about that. Forces them to close their positions. I guess it forces them. We haven't. I think AMC is going to be the
I think
test
basically
bunny for
what
that.
happens with that, because I know GameStop's been on it before, and basically it's kind of like, hey, now there's this more, watchful eye kind of looking over you, and it's like hey, we're watching you, no more manipulation, and
Crazy.
so it's supposed to kind of cut out some of the trickery, but these guys
Yeah.
figure it out. They just figure it out. They figure out ways to
Right.
kind of hit loopholes and just walk away
Yeah. I
with
mean,
a slap on the wrist. Um,
so anybody that doesn't know, if you get on the threshold list, it means that 1/2 of 1% of your float is in. You have that many failures to deliver. So with AMC, since their float is 500 million, it means they have over what is that? I don't even know. 2,500,000
yeah,
current failures to deliver. So CLOV is not being put on that list yet. But again, I mean, we've been playing this game with these idiot scumbags for years and years and years and years. And has the SEC stepped up and helped out retail? No, never. So I mean, do I really think that us getting on the threshold list is ever going to help? No, absolutely not. It's up to us to play this game and play it better than these scumbags.
yeah. And the big thing there is basically buying and holding, right? Because and the reason that that's so important, that I think a lot of people don't understand is basically what we keep talking about. And maybe a lot of people do understand, but I know some people that are maybe new to this and um, we're taking up the supply, right? So they're borrowing shares, they're shorting them into the market, they're selling them in with the hopes of getting us to sell our shares to drive the price lower so then they can go back and buy them and return them. But when we, buy and we hold, then as they're shorting and there's no shares to buy back, right? So they're putting borrowed shares into the market. We're taking that supply away. Now there's nothing for them to buy back to go return, which makes it more expensive for them to hold
Right.
these shares on loan. Um, so we are past 8 o'clock. I'm gonna have to
Yeah. So
sign off here pretty
what are you
soon.
cooking for breakfast?
They might have already ate. The other day when I went out, because my wife leaves for work, right around 7:30, so like basically a half hour ago. So the other day I went out there like, oh, let me go make sure my kids are taken care of, and she already made them breakfast and stuff, so I got the morning off.
It's a good
Um,
wifey. Well, I'll let you sign off with everybody, take them home. But thanks for having me on. I'm sure I'll see you on Stocktails, and I'll see everybody on Power Hour.
yeah.
But
So anyone who joined late, Tar Heel Blue. is gonna do Power Hour moving forward. So I'll be kind of in the chat hanging out for his. And that's gonna be the last hour of the day, and then sometimes I know you'll go longer too, right?
Yeah, for sure. Especially when I start getting a couple in me. So,
And then
but
there's a link to his channel in the description of this video, so
yeah,
go check him out and subscribe.
have a good day, brother.
All
I'll
right,
talk
man.
to you soon. All right.
All right, later. All right, so sorry, I know there's a ton of stuff coming in the chat today, and I didn't get a chance to get to all of it. We might have to get to some of this tomorrow because I got to sign off. But real quick, again, thank you everybody for coming in. I appreciate the support. I did pass 1,000 subscribers yesterday. That was really big. Um, just looking around the markets, CLOV, we've been holding above VWAP so far now for since almost 6:55, since 7 o'clock when we broke above it. And I think that's pretty strong indication that maybe we're ready to the worst. We saw the worst this morning. That could just be me trying to be optimistic. We'll see how it goes, but we have held above this, so let's see what happens there. ATOS up 14% on the day. I'm really expecting this to kind of continue to rip and run. That's trading at 613 right now. GameStop still hasn't been able to get back above VWAP at 197 right now, but looking like maybe it's going to get up there and test it and try to get ahead of it. For anyone who wasn't on this morning, GameStop did announce that it opened up a fulfillment warehouse in Reno, Nevada. Previously, a couple months ago, they had announced that they were opening one up on the East Coast, I think in Pennsylvania. So just kind of more information coming out about them as they pivot and transition into e-commerce and moving in that direction. AVXL somewhat flat on the day, up 1.8% right now. Would really love to see it hold 25. And I know BNGO has been kind of on and off moving. Hit as high as I think 690 earlier. It's now trying to hold VWAP for support at 674. They also announced this morning that an announce or expansion into China with We Health Shanghai. So and BNGO is the type of stock that you'll get these little mini reports and announcements kind of coming out. I call them mini catalysts, but they just kind of come out of nowhere all the time. No real updates in terms of Vortex data. It looks like a net borrow of 900,000 shares so far on CLOV. So more heavy shorting coming in. And I just saw someone put on the chat something about AMC. Yeah, so it looks like AMC right now is trying to break above to the high side, get above VWAP. And they also had some good news, I guess. So Adam Aaron, their CEO, had put out, I think yesterday, or maybe even on Saturday, that they're going to start doing like live events, streaming into the theaters. Specifically, I think a UFC fight. And he also tweeted out this morning that no new share requests this year. So for the rest of the year, so he canceled that previous share request and. That's something to keep an eye on. I know some of you guys are in AMC, and that's definitely positive news from that standpoint. Space also looks like it's up on the day, up 4%. That's another one I've been watching. Again, I'm not looking to open a position in there unless it gets back down to 41, which may never happen, but it is at 48.61 right now. So it's up on the day. If you're still in it, good for you. I'm happy for you. I never built my position or even got in, but I'm looking for that to maybe go down and touch 41 before I will. That's pretty much it. I'm going to sign off. Thank you, everybody, for the support. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone that keeps coming in here. And, if you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. And I'll be doing this every morning. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 a.m. Thank you.